The Product Manager is the fastest and the easiest way to create add to basket buttons or links for the products on your web pages. So the screen you can see in front of you here, this is the Product Manager on a cart, which obviously hasn't had any products added to it before, and you can see there's no category set up. And basically I'm going to show you how to add a product, how to get those links or buttons, and I'll talk you through some of the other features that are available on the Product Manager. So if we just start off by clicking on Add New Product down at the bottom. So you can see the product properties screen appears in green here because it's a new product. The item code is highlighted. I'm going to I'm going to enter an item code ABC123. The item code must be a combination of letters and numbers. Don't put symbols or spaces or anything like that in there. The price, enter the price without any currency symbols. I'm just going to put 5. And this particular cart is set up in sterling, so that would be £5. If yours is dollars or euros, that would represent $5 or €5. So the item name down here, I will put a great product. Okay, and then we've got the stock. If you're using stock control, you can set the stock there. Tax. If this was a 0 rated taxable item which has no tax on it, then you might put 0 in there. And finally down here we've got the weight. That's used by shipping. If you use weight-based shipping, you would enter the weight there without the denomination of weight. If it's 100 grams, you just put in 100 in there. So if I just click on save there, then you can see the product is saved. It appears in blue there, and the product properties are in blue on the right hand side here. So the type, the first column here is the type, and if you hover the mouse over it says normal product. In other words, it's not an intangible product, it's not a downloadable product, it's not an information list or anything like that, it's just a normal standard product there. The item code, as we entered before, item name, price, stock, you can change that. Now the weight column, there's some really cool functionality on RomanCart where you can have it so that if a product goes out of stock, then it can make a message appear next to the product on your web page that says email me when back in stock, and if your customers click on that, then they can enter their email address, and as soon as the product's back in stock, the system will automatically ping an email out to those people so that they know it's back in stock and they can go on your website and buy it. The wait column shows how many customers or prospects are waiting for that product to be back in stock, so that's really cool. The next column is the availability column. So if your product just becomes not available for whatever reason, you just really want to very quickly take it off your website, just uncheck that. And if you do that, don't forget to click on the Save Changes button down at the bottom there. FE, that's follow-up email. Does this product trigger a follow-up email when it's purchased? UC, that's upsell, cross-sell. Does this product trigger an upsell or cross-sell when it's added to the basket? IM is image. Is there an image on this product? And you can upload images for products, and they are used on the cross-sell upsell screen, and also there's an option where you can have it so that the images are shown on the basket page as well. The next column here is the copy product button and icon, and you just click on that and it will create a completely duplicate version of this product. That's really useful if you're entering very similar products, because you can just create one and then copy it and then edit it to be with the correct details for that product. Click on the trash can to delete the product. Now if we look in the product properties down here on the right hand side, there's various other options down here as well. So firstly, the modifiers. Now products often have modifiers, typically something like it might come in different colors like red, green and blue, or it might come in different sizes like small, medium and large. So let's just do that. So this great product here is going to come in small, medium and large. So if I just click on item name 2, which is the first modifier down here, for the group name I'll put size, and for the new value I'll put small. You'll notice at the top there it says is stock controlled. Now products like this are, the product I'm entering here is stock controlled because literally we've got 3 piles of this product. We've got one in small, one in medium and one in large, so it is stock controlled. There may be products that you have where the modifiers don't actually affect the stock, so in which case you can unselect that checkbox at the top. So if we just enter small for that, and now we can do medium for the next one, and finally large. And you'll see as well, you can also enter price and a weight that will modify the original price and weight of the item if that option is selected. So you can enter your prices and weights there. So we've got small, medium and large there. Let's click on back to go back to the actual main product properties. So that's set up. Now just to show you that, let's click on show me the code. It's a really important link up the top. Show me the code. This will give you the code to put on your web page, which will be your add to basket button for that product. So if I just minimize this, this is the page which appears. I've highlighted that and press Control C. I'm using a PC here. If you're on a Mac, then you want to hold down the Apple key and press C. And then let's just create a new product. I'm just going to use Windows here. Let's call it test.html. Yeah, I'm sure. And then if we just edit the notepad here, paste it, Control V to paste in the code, or if you're on the Apple, use the Apple key and V. So literally I'll just paste that in. This is going to be like the simplest web page that you've ever seen. So if I just click on save that, let's double click on that HTML file that I just created. Literally all it's got is the code for that button in it. Hopefully you can see that there. Let's just move that down a bit. So as you can see, we select small, medium or large. Let's have medium. Click on add to basket. And as you can see, the cart page appears. ABC123, a great product, brackets medium. The modifiers will appear in the brackets after the item name. £5. Off we go. It's the default setting for tax is the tax is included, so it's showing how much tax there is on this particular item. You know, this is as simple as it gets, really. Let's just remove that from the basket there, and in fact, let's go back into the product, and I'll just remove that modifier just so that you can see the other things that you can do here. If I just delete these values. Excellent. Click on back. Brilliant. Now, if I click on, as you can see now, there's no modifier set up. If I click on show me the code, up pops our pop-up window here again. And now there's two options on here, actually. There's the first box here is for an add to basket button, or the second box is for an add to basket link. Let's just show you both of those onto our really simple web page. So now I've removed the modifier, remember, so it's not going to ask for the size. In fact, I'll just put a couple of breaks in there just to separate these out. Otherwise it's going to look a bit confusing, right? There we go. So now we should have a button on there, followed by a hyperlink. There we go. So we've got add to basket button, add to basket, hyperlink. If I just click on add to basket there, then you'll see the page appears, a great product, £5. There we are. And of course, if I remove that, if we go back to the HTML page here that I just created, okay, click on the link, add to basket link, then you'll see that the cart page there appears. Does exactly the same thing, just two different ways of doing it. Okay, so that's really cool. Now if we go back into the product manager, let's maximize that so we can see what's going on. Right, so there's a number of different other options down here as well that I'm going to go through. Quantity pricing. It may be that you've got a particular product that you want to reduce the price according to the quantity that's being purchased by the customer. So say with this product here it's £5, say you wanted it to be £4.50 if the customer purchased 5 or more, no 10 or more, let's keep it simple. So threshold one you put 10, price one you put 4.50, and maybe, you know, if they ordered 20 you want them to just pay £4, and so on. So you can see there. Now let's make it slightly more complicated. Imagine if you've got two products, and in fact I'll tell you what, let's create another, so let's save that, and let's create a second product. In fact, let's copy that product. So just click on the copy icon here. Do you want to copy that? Actually, let's just cancel out there, and then do you want to copy the item? Yep, let's do that. Okay, so we've got to copy the product. Now it gives it a generated item code there because obviously it can't be the same. An item code is unique to a product. So let's just edit that. We'll call the item code for this ABC456, and we'll call it another great product. Okay, let's save that. Now, so we've got two products. We've got a great product and another great product. Now imagine if we wanted to combine the quantity pricing on these. So for this product here, we've got, if you buy 10, you get it for £4.50, and if you buy 20, you get it for £4. Let's have the second product. Let's say the second product costs £10, and we want to make it so if you buy 10 of those, it costs £8.50. If you buy 20, it costs £7. Okay, let's just save that. Now at the moment, these two products are going to work completely separately. with those thresholds. So if you buy 10 or 20 of each product, you're going to get the cheaper price. But what you can do is you can mix them. So if we put group 1 on this product here, we just give them both the same value in the QD group field. If we give this other one group 1, same value in the QD group field. So what that means is now is the cart, to work out what the threshold is, it's going to add how many of both of those that you've got in the cart. In other words, the first threshold for both of them is 10. So if you have 5 of product ABC 1, 2, 3 and 5 of product ABC 4, 5, 6, that means you've got 10 in the cart. So on each of those, because it's counting, because they're in the same group, it aggregates the totals together, and you would get the threshold 1 price for both of those products. So you would get ABC 1, 2, 3 for £4.50 and ABC 4, 5, 6 for £8.50, which I think is what we set up on there. Absolutely. So there we are. So that's how you can do mixed quantity pricing. Now looking down here, shipping, we haven't set up any basic shipping methods yet, but if you had a basic shipping method set up, then there'd be a load of fields down there, so you can set the shipping price for this particular product. Upsell, cross-sell. You can enter a description here. If you're using upsell, cross-sell, you can but essentially what happens is when the customer adds the product to the cart, it will show them the upsell cross-sell screen offering them any other products. For example, say this item was a torch, then you might have batteries that are being cross-sold to them. So your description there might be, seeing as you're buying the torch, why not buy some of these great accessories below, because you might not just be batteries, you might have a nice smart case for the torch and all sorts of other things, and you would click on the products button there to add the item codes of those products that you want to offer. Now if we've got, let's just close some of those. Follow-up. If you click on create follow-up email, you can create a follow-up email for the product, and you can also specify how long after the purchase the email should be sent. It might be immediately, or you might have some delay before the follow-up email is sent. Search engine. Now RomanCart's got the functionality to add a very simple search engine to your web pages so that your customers can search for products. And if you're using that, then you'll want to fill out the search engine section on each of the products. So the URL would be the URL of where the product can be found on your on the internet, but the URL on your website where the product can be found. Keywords, what keywords you want to trigger the search to find the product, and description, a nice friendly description of what the product is. Now the options section, let's just close some of these here. Options section down here, there's loads of different options you can set up. In fact, this first one here relates to stock control. In fact, let's just talk about that a second. If you click on the configure icon, the configure link, sorry, up here, and then this shows what stock control options you've got. That's shown here. Do not use stock control. Use stock control and prevent products being sold if out of stock, or use stock control but allow products to be sold when out of stock. So there's various different options you can do there. You can also enter an email address there, and it will send an email to this address when the stock is depleted. And you can also show the stock level on the upsell and cross-sell page if available. In other words, if you're using the upsell cross-sell page. There's a couple of other options here as well. These checkboxes up the top only allow customers to purchase products which are listed in the product manager. If you're using the product manager, you should check that box, because that stops any other links from being posted to your cart. It makes it very secure. Override product properties stored in the product manager with parameters posted to the cart. You don't want to tick that normally. And allow identification of a product by name and price match instead of item code. You don't normally want to tick that either. There's some other options down here to do with remote data delivery, but you want to see the separate screencast on that. Essentially, it's so that you can show the real time stock levels and prices on your actual web pages, and there's some other stuff you can do there as well, which is really cool. So if I just click on back, and then let's just take a look at the options section again on the product. If I just open up this first product here, options down here. So email you if stock is below. You can set an actual value on each product. So if the stock falls below a certain level, then you'll get an email. Stock source. Now it may be that you've got multiple products on your web pages which are actually really relating to one product. You're just selling them in different ways, as it were, and you might want to set them up differently. They may even have different prices. If that's the case, then you just enter the item code in this field, the stock source of the master product. In other words, the product that represents where the stock is coming from. And then when this item is sold, it will deplete, it will reduce the stock of that master product, which you put the item code in the stock source field. OOS message, that means out of stock message. So if you're using remote data delivery, as I mentioned earlier, you want to see the separate screencast on that. But this will you can enter a message that will appear on your web page if it's out of stock. So you might say something like order now for delivery next week, rather than saying this item is out of stock. But obviously that's dependent on how you want to do that. Return URL, you want to enter in there. This is really important. You want to enter in there the URL where you can find this product on your website. Okay, because that's used by the continue shopping button, and when customers go to the cart, when they add your product to the cart, when you click on continue shopping, it will try and go to the return URL if you've got one in there, which is the best way of doing it. If you don't enter return URL, the cart will try and work out where the customer has come from and where that page is. But with the different firewalls you get nowadays and security software, sometimes the cart might not be able to work that out. So it's better if you put the return URL in there. Max quantity, that's the maximum quantity of this product that your customer should be allowed to purchase. Min quantity, well, that's the same but for the minimum. Display cart, this is really cool because you can have, if you set display cart to no, and you've got a return URL in there, then essentially when the customer clicks on the add to basket button, it won't look as if they've gone to the cart. They won't see the basket page. What will actually happen is that they will be sent immediately to the return URL. And if that's just the same page they're coming from, it won't even look like anything's happened at all. But what you want to do, you want to have it so that the cart, so you want to use the links from the cart that show the total amount of products in the cart and the total price of the products in the cart on that page, because then when they click on the add to basket, nothing will happen apart from that total number of products in the cart will be updated, and the total value of products in the cart will be updated. I'm not saying you have to do that. In fact, in many cases, it's much better to actually show the basket page. But if you don't want to show the basket page and you want to keep them on your website, then you can set display cart to no. Tangible. So this is another option here. Is your product tangible? In other words, is it a physical product that you're going to be shipping? If it's not tangible, then set that to no, and shipping. This particular product wouldn't be included in the calculation for shipping. Dependent master. Now you can post multiple products to the cart at the same time, and you want to see our other screencasts on this. But if you do that and you set this product to dependent master, let's go back to the example of a torch and batteries. You would set the torch product to a dependent master, and then what would happen is when the torch and the battery are both sent to the cart at the same time, or in fact you don't need to send them at the same time, you might have the batteries might be in the cross-sell upsell, then what would happen is that the batteries would become a subordinate of the torch. And what that actually means is if you remove the torch from the basket, then the batteries would be removed as well. Yeah, so that's really cool. Another example, for example, if you're selling, you might be selling computers, and you might have a base price for the computer, and you might have the graphics card and all sorts of bits and pieces as subordinates of the base price. So you want to set the base part of the computer to be the dependent master, and then all the other bits and pieces would be removed if they remove the base from the card. That's a really useful piece of functionality. Now, if you're using advanced tax, you can set tax bands of A to F. And again, you want to see the separate screencast on advanced tax, but this is where you set the tax band here on the product. Must buy, you just want to leave that at yes, but you'll see some examples that we've got on our examples page showing that you can post, again, you can post products, a number of products to the cart at the same time, and must buy basically says whether you should whether the customer has to buy this particular product when they're all posted at the same time. But for normal use, just leave that at yes. A fixed quantity. Do you want to allow the customer to be able to change the quantity on the basket? If you don't want them to change it, then set fixed quantity to yes. Now get image, again, this is a really useful parameter because let's just say, for example, if you were selling, I don't know, if you were selling mugs. And your customers, you wanted your customers to send you images that you were going to print on the side of the mug, then you could set this get image parameter to yes, and when they add it to the basket, it would say, please select your image for upload, and it would upload their image in either JPEG, PNG, or GIF format, and that would be added to the order summary screen, and where you could access it. Really useful. You can override that. You can if you set get image to yes, then you can also post a get image yes or no parameter with your form button. So and if you wanted to, in other words, so that you could say, do you have an image to upload, yes or no, and you could set the get image parameter that way. If you set it to yes on here to override it. And similarly, we've got here allow price override. Normally you want to set that to no, basically unless you're doing unless the product is for donations, because if this product is a donation, if you're like a charity, then you may want your customers to be able to override the price. You might say, we suggest you give this much, but they can enter whatever amount they like, and that would enable you to do that. Finally, on this option section, we've got clear basket. If you set that to yes, the basket will be cleared before this item is added to the basket. A couple of other sections down below here. We've got the downloads section. If you're selling downloads, the URL, you can set the URL of the file that you're selling, or better than that, if you use the digital vault, you'd be able to select the vault item there. And then we've got the information list here. If you're selling information list, and that can be like a list of if you might have a list of serial numbers, you're selling serial numbers for your software, or you might be selling usernames and passwords for access to your secure area of your website, that kind of thing. Then you can create information list and select it down there. And in fact, if we look up the top, let's just cancel out of there. If we look up the top here, I mentioned before the configure link there. We've got add edit categories. You can create categories for your product, and that's really just for managing products. You need it as well for remote data delivery, but it's just to make it easy to find products. Active products, this is where you can set up products that trigger the cart to call a script on your server. If you've got essentially if you're an advanced user, you might and you've got a server-side script on your server that you want to do something when a particular product is sold, then you can set up an active product, and when that particular product is sold, it will post what's called the active product token to the URL that you specify, and you can make it do something there. Import products, you can import products there. If you've got a sort of list of CSV data, you can import the products. Export products, again, you can export products from the cart and CSV format. Digital Vault, if you're selling downloads, you want to use the Digital Vault to do that. You can you want to take a look at that screen. There's a separate screencast on that. And again, we've got information products. This is where you create your information lists. So if you're selling serial numbers or usernames and passwords, you can set that all up there.